Hello, my name is Joe Lemeris. I'm a GIS and data manager for the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources. I specifically work in our Heritage Trust program, dealing primarily with managing our data for rare, threatened, and endangered species in South Carolina. GIS is a type of software that a lot of people use. Most people think of GIS as something to the effect of Google Maps. And Google is a type of GIS. It's one that allows you to figure out where you are and how to get to where you want to go. But GIS can also be used across a number of different sectors. In our case, we use GIS to identify places in South Carolina that are important to species of concern and figure out the best ways to protect those places so that they'll persist into the future. So here we have a portion of South Carolina, and you can see in the map here we have aerial imagery, we have state boundaries and a few city names and roads here, but we also have some points, green and red. And these locations are areas where we track species of concern, plant and animal. And these are just point locations and sort of areas where we know species are found. Here's an example of using a data set that we have compiled areas where Carolina bays are known to be found in the state. Carolina bays are a unique geologic feature that are also very important to a number of different species of reptile and amphibian, as well as plants. Here's an example of a predictor variable that we use to identify certain areas that might be important to species. It's called the NDVI, or Normalized Difference Vegetation Index. It's a measure of how vegetated a certain area is, and you can see here areas in red are very open and do not have much vegetation, whereas areas in green have a larger proportion of vegetation in those areas. I showed our species data a little bit earlier, and this data is collected from our agency only within the state of South Carolina, but the Natural Heritage Program is part of a nationwide and continent-wide network which feeds into a network program called NatureServe. And NatureServe acts as the sort of hub for all the heritage programs across the United States and Canada. And they have been able to use this data to provide more contiguous data sets, such as this map of biodiversity importance, or MOBI, as they like to call it, which highlights some of these rare, threatened, and endangered species and where those are found on a range-wide scale. So you'll see in this particular map that areas that light up in yellow and orange are areas that have the highest number of potential imperiled species within the country or region compared to some of the lower areas in blue and purple. It was great to be able to show off some of the stuff that we've been able to work on over the past several years. Myself, I really enjoy being a GIS manager, specifically for the Heritage Program, because I have a background in biology and have a lot of experience working with species in the Southeast. And it's a really exciting field. Lots of technological changes are happening at a pretty rapid pace, so it's becoming easier and easier to be able to use this data and share it with the people that are making decisions on the ground. You can't protect a species unless you know where it is and what's important to it, so these tools often are some of the best ways to make sure that we're focusing our efforts and our resource dollars to protect the most important places.